Welcome to Good as Gold, hosted by Nick Kovich, a show dedicated to helping you understand precious metals and rare coins, how to avoid the pitfalls when buying, and how to understand the inner workings of the precious metals market. Call with your questions now. 602-324-1510. That's 602-324-1510. Or outside the Phoenix area at 800-293-5366. Now, here's the host of Good as Gold, Nick Kovich.
Hi, Nick Kovich. I'm back with you. I've been gone for a little while for a variety of reasons, which really, I guess, don't really matter right now. I just literally got back from California 9 minutes ago and walked into the station, much to the relief of Jen. And so I'm catching my breath, but I prepared quite a bit of things to talk about. I want to talk about some things I don't normally talk about in a good light, which is some of the rare coin market. I don't know if you've ever been out to Malibu or that northern, I guess that's northern LA area, but I was out in Malibu and I drove up to Moore Park, and if you haven't been there, you're missing out on some really beautiful things out there. It's really a great place, and I cannot wait to go back. I'm going to go back as soon as I can. But back to Long Beach. I spent most of the day at Long Beach yesterday. It was dealer day. And what happens on dealer day, it's not really open to the general public. They let the dealers go in. They set up their tables. Everyone walks around, see who's there. You try and get an idea what kind of coins are available. Kind of a preview, if you will, to look at what inventory is going to be available at the show. And I don't do the show anymore. I don't set up a table at the show anymore. Obviously, I haven't recommended rare coins for quite some time, so setting up a booth at the show seemed kind of hypocritical. Maybe that's the wrong word, but it just didn't fit with what we were doing. But I have been going to quite a few shows, to get a little bit better feel for what's going on in the market. I've renewed some contacts in the rare coin market, both for selling coins and for buying the different items that we're recommending right now. And, the funny thing is, a lot of collectors will go to the show, and that's a great place. If you're a collector or you really love rare coins, absolutely go, fly out to Long Beach, go to the show, spend a day there. It's incredible. They have, I would have taken pictures, but they don't allow pictures inside the show. But they have, for example, they have collector's treasure hunt, and it's for the kids, and they've got swords and old pirate, make pretend pirate treasure, and I'm not sure exactly how it works. I guess if you're a kid, you get to dig through there and find the treasure. So it's really, they really do a really nice job if you're into it. I will say the show was a lot livelier than it was about a year ago when I went. When I went last year, or maybe it was a little over a year, it was like a morgue. I walked in there, and there was nothing going on. Dealers were standing around twiddling their thumbs. Some were drinking beer at 10 in the morning because there's nothing else to do. The show was at least livelier. A lot of, I was there fairly early, so, there was some excitement. I mean, the show just gets started on Wednesday. They let you in at noon. A really good friend of mine who's a dealer out of Texas got me a dealer badge so I could go in for dealer day, go in early and see what was going on. The one thing that's kind of funny is I know a lot of people, investors and collectors alike, they go to the shows thinking that they're going to get first shot at all these great coins. But what you don't realize is most of the business was done before the show opened today. Dealers, and I know when I was real heavy into the rare coin aspect of the market, we would go in on a Tuesday night, set up a suite, guys would be playing poker all night and drinking beer and whatever, and we'd have a room set up showing coins. So that would go on Tuesday night. Then Wednesday, like I said, it's dealer day, so the dealers get first crack. They go through and get to go through and pick out, all the good, the really good stuff there, or the things that are priced right. And then finally Thursday, after the dealers have had 2 heavy days of trading, they open it to the public. So, like I said, it's still a great place to go, but you may or may not get a great deal. A lot of the deals are going to go to the dealers, and that's why if you're dealing in coins, especially as an investment, you really have to pick out a good dealer who has your interest at heart, because you could go to the same show and never even see the same coins that I saw yesterday. And chances are, even if you did see the same coins, you probably couldn't buy them for the same price as I could, or a real legitimate coin dealer. So yeah, you're going to pay a dealer something, but if you have the right dealer, you probably end up paying less in the end of it all, and do a whole heck of a lot less work with a whole less hassle by just having somebody you can trust. I mean, it's kind of like a relationship. You have to have a dealer that fits, and your coin portfolio is like that too. I mean, if you're up every night worrying what's going on with it, what's going on, are you in the right thing? Do you have the right thing? You got to force it. It's probably the wrong thing to be in. So the Long Beach show, what I really found was interesting. I talked to a lot of guys. It was kind of funny because some of the dealers, the last time I saw them, they actually had hair on their heads, but that's changed since I saw some of these guys. It was really great to see them. But I sat with a dealer that he's about my age. We used to hang out a lot back in the 80s and early 90s, and we did a heck of a lot of business. And so he's trying to convince me, kind of where I'm going to head, hopefully, in this broadcast, is to talk about rare coins a little bit. And it was interesting because he's telling me, well, geez, I just bought $52.50 Liberties for $1,200 in MS-66, and I bought 100 MS-65s for $1,150, and it's only $50 difference for one grade up. How could you not buy them? I said, yeah, I mean, I get the point. You're not paying much more for a higher quality coin, so it seems like it's a good deal. And then I said, but isn't everything cheap? I said, the problem is I walk around here and I see so many coins. I don't know who's gonna buy all the stuff that's at the show. I said, well, that's the problem I'm running into. Everything's cheap and I'm buying everything, but I only have so much money and I only have so much room in my safe to put coins. So at some point I can't keep buying and buying. And that's kind of the problem. That's kind of the problem with the rare coin market, is if you don't have that top 2 or 3% of the coins, maybe 5%, you're just in something that's constantly looking for a home. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit today about some alternatives to gold and silver. It's going to be a big change from what I normally talk about, because I'm going to talk about some of the interesting and possibly profitable ways that you can get in on the rare coin market. I'm going to switch horses a little bit because as you all know by now, I really don't recommend rare coins as an investment vehicle for most people. I'm going to reiterate that I'm going to talk about rare coins. I don't think it's right for 90% of you. I think that if you own gold and silver, you need to keep your gold and silver as a hedge. I mean, the terrorists set off a nuclear bomb tomorrow, or they do some other crazy thing, you're going to want gold and silver. You're not going to want rare coins. But we might be headed into a long drought in the bullion markets, and I think that's going to cause people to start looking for alternatives. And so if you're sitting on coins that aren't doing anything for you, I think there's some opportunities to put that money somewhere where at least it has a chance to work for you and be in something really fantastic. Okay, back with you. We're talking about changes in the market, and we're talking about rare coins for a change. I could be wrong, but I think we're going through a major market transition. I have a feeling, and I'm not going to go into every reason right now, I'll run out of time, but I really have a feeling that we're going to go into kind of a flat to sideways market in a lot of the precious metals here for the next few years. It feels just like 1982. I've told you that before. The market had just dropped. We've just come off the highs. I mean, remember, 1980, we hit $870. It took 20 years before gold started showing any signs of life again, and it took almost 30 years before it got back to $870. So if you're waiting for gold to come back, you had an awfully long wait. And then worst of all, if you had the wrong coins or you didn't have somebody telling you what was going on, you sat through it and missed it again. And who knows, it could be 2 years, it could be 5 years, it could be another 20 years before we get back to $1,900 gold. We just don't know. I'll say this, I'm not good at picking out the highs and lows. I'm not good at telling you where gold's going to be a year from now or 2 months from now. But I've been pretty darn good at picking out, the major transitions in the market. In the mid-'80s, I saw what happened with PCGS and NGC entering the market. It was real obvious to me we were going to have a big run, in just about any decent coin, and we had that. In 1989, again, I saw a major trend. This was a downtrend in the coin market, and I did my best to warn my clients. I wrote an article for Dr. Gary North, which he printed, and within a year, coins had dropped 70 to 90% in price. I did make a bad call on gold in the late 90s. I threw in my hat like everybody else for a short while, and that's just about the time it turned around. But I quickly revised my recommendations, and I'd been putting people into gold and silver since 1999, which has been a really good call. So my point is, I can't tell you what gold's going to be tomorrow or a year from now or 2 years from now, but I can tell you I see some major changes in this market. I really think in the metals market that you're going to start seeing a lot more emphasis on strategic metals. I think as you see China get back on their feet, United States get back on its feet, India get more into the action, you're going to see metals like platinum, palladium, even silver. I'm not as bullish on silver as I am platinum. Even strange metals like rhodium. Again, I'm not telling you to sell your gold and silver position to go out and speculate in these metals. If you have gold and you want to trade half for platinum, I don't see much danger in that. But, don't go speculate with everything you have. If you own coins, the thing you have to remember is so many people owned rare coins for the last 10, 15, 20 years. They sat back. They saw gold go from $250 to $1,900. They listened to their dealers and just waited for coins to catch up to the bullion market. Now the bullion market's down to 12 to 1300, well, 1260 today. We're down today. And they never were at a profit, and now they're stuck waiting for the next market. So, the definition of insane, right? Doing the same thing and expecting different results. So are you going to sit on the same coins you sat on the last 5, 10, 15 years? And what's going to change? Nothing's going to change for the better. So, if you're one of those people and you've got 8, 19, 21 Morgan dollars hidden away in your house somewhere, and you just can't bring yourself to get them out and show them to me to see what they look like, it's probably a good time to do that right now. Take a look and let's see what you have. So, like I said, I'm not suggesting you get rid of your core holdings of gold and silver or even platinum. What I'm suggesting is a lot of people are sitting on semi-rare coins like St. Gaudens, Morgan dollars, $20 Liberties, 2.5 Indians, coins that just were highly, highly promoted over the last 20 years and really did very little for most people. The other extreme are the modern coins, which we talked about before, and I'm not intending to talk about today. But, the modern eagles are a very popular market. I don't want to get into it right now, but there's a lot of dealers out there. You might get the fancy flyers from these different companies, and they're selling, 2015 1-ounce gold eagle for $4,000 or $5,000, or they're selling a Panda set, a new Panda set for $5,000 or $6,000. That's another item. You're just handing somebody half or 2/3 of your money. So you need to really put some thought in this. But if you're holding coins like that and you like the idea of being in coins, I guess what I'm saying is if you're going to hold something that's classic, something that's really truly collectible, something that has a track record, and something that you can be proud of and has a chance to make you money. So let me get into that a little bit. And this is something that came up in conversation yesterday at Long Beach. I was again talking to my friend Ken, and he was showing me some coins that he had bought for his daughter. We're both in our mid-50s. I have a 6-year-old daughter. He has an 8-year-old daughter. I don't know what we're thinking, but that's how it is. So he was, as I sat there talking to him, somebody delivered some coins to him, and he pulled out a Barber half dollar. Barber half dollars are made from 1892 to 1916, and it was a Proof 67, which was a really, really high-quality coin. And he said, Nick, he said, do you remember what we were paying for these back in 88, 89? And I said, I really don't remember. I want to say $15,000 to $20,000. He said, yeah. He said, I think we were paying 20, maybe 25,000 for some of these coins. And I said, well, what'd you just pay for those? He said, $4,500. I said, so why? I mean, Ken loves coins, so he just buys everything, and then he has to figure out how to get rid of it all. But, he had a great idea. He said, there's only 24 coins in the Barber, 24 proof coins in the Barber set. Whether it's dimes, quarters, or halves, it's 24 coins. They're really low mintage. Just to give you an example, on the Barber dimes, I know I'm bouncing back and forth between dimes and halves, but the first year of issue, 1892, they only made 1,200 coins. By the end of the run in 1914, 1915, they were down to 425 coins. That's all they made that year. So you add up 24 years, there's not even 2,400 coins made. Am I doing the math right? So the number of coins that weren't damaged because they didn't really have any way to store the coins. They put them in wooden boxes on felt. Well, that felt, coin sliding back and forth on felt will not remain a proof 67 for very long. Most of the coins were not made in proof 67 condition. And he said, look, I can buy 24 coins. If I include the better dates and the common dates, maybe I have $6,000 to $8,000 a coin in it by the time I'm done. So he said, you do the math, and that's a set that in 1989 you probably could have sold for, I don't know, $350,000, $400,000. And I'm going to have almost nothing in it. And then on top of it, you look at the PCGS. I went and I got the PCGS population reports, and according to PCGS, now this is the half dollars I'm talking about right now. I know I'm bouncing around here a little bit, but according to PCGS, on the Barber dimes, they've only graded 225 coins in proof 67. That's it. I was shocked that it's that low. I really thought it would be a lot more than that. I thought it'd be several times that. On the proof quarters, they only graded 84 coins. Well, that's MS67. On the proof halves, I think I don't want to page through this while I'm on radio, but I think it was 100 or I think it was somewhere right around 200 coins. So does that guarantee these coins are going to go up in value? No, it doesn't. But if you put a set together of, it doesn't matter if it's dimes, you could put the whole set together, assuming you could find somebody willing to do it, like me, or you could actually find all the coins. You could probably put the set together for $50,000 or $60,000, which is a fraction of the $250,000 that set probably went for back in 1989. Granted, that was top of market, so you may never see that number again. But you'd be tying up you'd have one of the nicest Barber dime sets out there. And the really interesting thing in the coin market right now, because there's just not a lot of money going in the market. I mean, if you go to the auctions have the super spectacular coins I've talked about, the $600,000, the $1 million, the $2 million coins. Those coins, there's money chasing those coins. But right now, there's not much money chasing these really nice lower price coins. I doubt if you could go spend $1 million on the Proof 67 Barbers. Of course, that doesn't mean somebody's going to do it, but $1 million is not a lot of money. I bet if you tried to spend $1 million on these coins, you'd probably raise the price 50 to 100% in a matter of months. And you could put something really spectacular together. If you're a collector, you know the Barber series. That's the most classic coin. That's probably of the type coins. That's probably the most recognized, the most collected coin out there. So you'd be buying a piece of history. You'd have something really spectacular that really only a handful of other people could ever even own, instead of this common stuff that all these dealers are selling that you and 200,000 other people have the exact same thing. And you'd probably have less risk, because I'll tell you, they've dropped so much in price. I don't want to say you're going to get rich, you're going to double your money. I mean, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. But I also look at it and think, well, if you're buying a set for $60,000 that used to be $250,000 or whatever the price was, you don't have a whole heck of a lot of downside right now. You're not in a market that's being promoted or supported by dealers. It's just a true collector's market. And those are the guys that make money in coins because they're buying the coins at prices they want to.
Once again, here's Nick Kovich.
Okay, Nick Kovich back with you. I want to say I went to California and I came back really excited. Everybody here saying, gosh, you're all pumped up today. What happened? Well, I went there just like with the barber dimes, barber quarters, and I don't care if you buy barber dimes, barber quarters, barber halves. I'm telling you, I went out there and I was hoping to find a fit, and things just came together. A lot of things. I went out there not knowing what was going to happen, and I found the perfect fit, and that's how these feel to me. It just feels like a really good fit. So who am I talking to for something like the barber dimes or the barber halves? I'm talking to clients. I have a client I also saw 2 weeks ago in California, and this gentleman dealt with one of the more respectable coin dealers, and he's a coin dealer. He's not a coin salesman. Big name, so I'm not going to mention the name because he might get ticked off, even though I'm not going to say anything negative about him. But he's a big name. You would definitely, if you're in the coin market at all, you'd recognize the name. So what I'm getting at, a very reputable dealer. This gentleman went to him maybe 5 years ago, had several $100,000 to invest, and he ended up walking out with 180 MS65 $20 St. Gaudens. And I think to myself, really, that's the best you could do with $300,000 is 180 of the same coin. So, the MS65 St. Gaudens, there's probably, I don't know the exact number, but I'll bet there's over 300,000 of them graded. So there's nothing rare about it. There's nothing exciting about it. The only way it goes up is if dealers can sell a ton of them, and then you make some money. But when the market falls, when the gold market falls as it has, you can't give the darn things away because sales are down and nobody wants them. All the major dealers that I know are sitting on huge quantities, or I believe are sitting on huge quantities of them. So I don't get it. I mean, to buy St. Gaudens, you'd have been better off to just buy bullion. But that said, a client like that, even at today's market, he's got to be sitting on roughly $200,000, $225,000 worth of coins. Why sit on 200 of the exact same coin? I mean, in essence, they're either all going up, they're all going down, or they're all doing nothing. So even though I think it's really 180 coins, it doesn't matter. It might as well be one coin because they're all going to do the exact same thing. So honestly, I'd rather see him have one really spectacular coin for $225,000. Should a person like this, would I feel bad about putting a person like this into a set of barber dimes for $60,000? No way. I think I'd be doing him a favor. How about a set of barber halves for $80,000 to $100,000? I think he'd be so much better off. He'd have something real. The barber material, and barber's not the only coins that fit this criteria. It's just kind of what I got stuck talking about and looking into over the week. Not the weekend, the week. But these coins have been collected for the last 50 to 70 years. Any major auction has high-grade barber coins in them. They have a great following. Even back in 79 and 80 when the coin market did do well when gold went up, the barber coins were at the head of that line. They were leading the charge in that market. So I feel good about these coins, especially for people like that. I had another client in Oklahoma spent $1.5 million. Boy, I want to say the name of the company so I could warn you, but I won't. It sounds like something to do with the official government and then mint. So if you didn't get that, then you won't get it. But and they sold him sets of rare half-ounce gold eagles, which, if you remember, I tell you, don't buy the rare ones. Buy the common ones you're going to buy for $50 over whatever the gold's worth. They sold him all the rare ones, and for several times what they're worth. They sold him, they sold him the Buffalo coins, the 2013 Buffaloes that were run up at the ANA show. They sold him the Kennedy halves that were run up at the ANA show. They sold him the new baseball coins. They sold him a set of baseball coins for $5,200. When we got them to make us a bid back, I told him I thought they were worth $200 and he should just grind his dealer. They offered him $750. They sold it to him last year for $5,200. So you're sitting on that kind of stuff. you're never going to get anywhere. I mean, yeah, gold goes to $20,000 an ounce, you're going to bail out. So why sit on, I mean, and his $1.5 million isn't worth $500,000 today. So a person like that, do I have a problem putting that person into $100,000 or $200,000 of really nice classic rare coins? No, I have no problem doing that. I will add he already has several $100,000 worth of gold. He's got $100,000 worth of silver eagles. So I don't feel like I'm dipping into his survival portfolio or his hedge or his rainy day fund. So I don't have a problem with that. I think it's something this particular gentleman probably would really enjoy the coins for one, but he's in a position where he can sit on the coins, he can enjoy the coins. If they move up, it's something he could probably make some money on. And if not, he's not going to do nearly as bad as spending $5,200 on a coin he gets $750 for a year later. So, you just have to use a little common sense. Now, having said this, please, please, please don't go run out and start buying Barber dimes, Barber quarters, and Barber halves in proof 67 or 60 or whatever grade, because I haven't given you enough information to know how to do that. And I'm not going to tell you what prices to go pay, because then what happens, and I saw this week too, little old man in San Diego, he knew what price to pay, went out and called the dealer in New York. The only problem is they sold him PCI coins, not PCGS coins. So coins he paid $4,500 for, I wouldn't give him $480 for them because they weren't graded properly. It was an off-grading service, a service nobody... So if you don't know what you're doing, don't go out and do this by yourself. Don't go on eBay and think you're going to outsmart somebody. You're not going to. You're not going to outsmart the dealers. We know what we're doing. And just to be blunt, most investors just don't. So I can give you all this great information, but you have to find somebody to do this for you. American Federal would be a great choice. This is what we do. Are there other dealers that are good choices? Yeah, but they're not going to be the guys that are calling you on the telephone 10 times a day. So these are some great ideas I think I have. Let me tell you how you go about this. And this is where American Federal comes in. The first thing you need to do, if all you have is bullion, even if you just have gold eagles, it's worth doing this, because even a lot of the gold eagles have hidden profits. I'll give you an example. Last January, the market for collectible gold eagles, mostly the half-ounce coins, it was hot as a firecracker. And most people who own these coins have bought them as bullion coins, unless you bought them from one of these fast-talking marketers. Most people who bought them just bought them as bullion coins. So if you just happen to be buying gold in the 1990s and you got half-ounce coins, you're probably sitting on a lot of coins that are worth 2, 3, 4 times the gold that's in them, because they've become collectible coins. Is your dealer going to call you and tell you about it? Maybe, but I doubt it. I don't know anybody else that told their clients to go through their eagles to look for dates. What most of them are doing is hoping you'll just sell it back to them as bullion, and they get to make the $3,000 extra per coin. Last January, I sent a letter out to all my clients, my prospects, my leads. This is one of those times I shared it with everybody, not just my clients. And I basically told people, go through your eagles, find out what the dates are, and let me know. Here's the dates you want. And not everyone had a winner, but a lot of people were able to make 50% to 100% on their money, double their positions, just because they happen to have the right dates. So what I'm getting at, that's something we do for you, and that's why even if it's just gold eagles or silver eagles, it's still worth getting a review. So the first thing I tell you to do, let us review your portfolio and your goals. Your portfolio is one thing. I can look at coins and I can say, this is good, this is bad. It depends what you're after. You might be a collector, you love Lincoln pennies, and you have a set of Lincoln pennies, and I look at it from an investor standpoint and say, this is terrible. Well, maybe to you it's the best thing since sliced bread and you love them. Well, that's different. You have a different goal than other people. So you have to make sure your goals and your portfolio match up, and that's where we can come in and help you. I know I have a tough time doing that with my own coins, because I can't be objective with the coins I personally own. I'm too tied to them. So I have other guys in the office will bug me and say, hey, you're telling everybody else to sell these. Why are you holding yours? And then I either have to, I either have to do what I'm saying, or I have to come up with a really good reason not to. The second thing is, let's evaluate what you have. Whether you're just getting in the market, you want to evaluate. I mean, a lot of people are calling me and saying, "Is this a good time to get in? What should I buy?" Okay, that's a little bit different question, but let's sit down, talk to me or Don or Carl at the office. Tell us what you're trying to accomplish. Are you trying to make money? Are you trying to just stick something under the bed for a rainy day? What's your purpose? And we'll try and, at least give you a little guidance as to what to buy. If you've already been in coins, then we need to sit down and show you how those coins have done. As I said earlier, so many people are sitting on coins that they've had for 10, 20, 30, even 40 years, and they're still waiting to make money. And I want to tell you, if you haven't made money on your coins in the last 20 years, the chances of you making money on them may not be too good. I mean, if you have the right coins, maybe. But chances are really good if you just bought from a telemarketer, you bought from one of these guys, that just pushes St. Gaudens and scares you with confiscation. You're sitting on something that you're just at the dealer's whims. If they run it up for you, you'll get lucky. The problem is, if they run it up, they're never going to tell you. So even if you have something you don't want to sell, if we know you have it and we see the market move, we could at least let you know when the timing's right. The third thing, we try and give you the information you need to decide what to own, to trade, to sell, or honestly, if you even want to be in this stuff anymore. We just did a seminar in San Francisco last week, and I don't think we were too confusing, but there were a lot of people that came up afterwards and they just said, Nick, after listening to you and Don and Carl tell us about it, we don't even want to own this stuff anymore.
Once again, here's Nick Grovich.
Okay, Nick Grovich back with you. We were talking about things that you need to do to prepare yourself for this next transition in the market. And I'm trying to tell you why you ought to consider using American Federal. We really do offer a lot of things that very few of these other dealers do for you. Everyone tells you they're going to tell you when to sell, when the time's right, and they're going to watch out for you, and all they really want to do is sell you something. If you've been with me for any time at all, you know that probably 70% of what I send out in my emails, my newsletters, and my letters are warnings of things not to do. I don't make money by telling you not to spend money, but I really honestly try to tell you what to do. I see a dealer, just like we were talking about these the baseball coins, and we talked before about the new Kennedy gold coins, and we talked about the Buffalo coins that were so promoted. And I came on the radio and I warned you, don't buy those coins. People are charging $6,500 for coins you could buy today for $1,500. So I really try to warn people what not to buy a lot more often than I tell you to spend money. So keep that in mind. Just think about what the last time your dealer called you 10 times. Was he trying to tell you not to do something or trying to push a coin down your throat? So, we talked about, the last thing we were talking about is we try and give you the information that you need, whether you want to own coins, trade them, sell them, or if you decide it's just not for you anymore. I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of investors out there, investors, hedgers, collectors, even collectors, that they're 70, 80, 90 years old. I just talked with a client who's 92 years old, and he's got coins. He loves them. He's put them together for the last 50 years, and it's an okay portfolio. I mean, it's nothing earth-shaking, but he likes it. He had fun with it. But his kids, his grandkids, they could care less about it. So he's better off. He at least knows something about the coins. It's better for him to handle it and know, he knows what he's doing. So he can come to me, and he did, and I can handle the sale of that for him. So American Federal, we do specialize. I mean, we really specialize in selling your coins for you. We'll buy them outright. You want to come in, show me the coins, I'll make you an offer, I'll give you a check. If I think I can get more by marketing them, whether that's putting them in auctions or taking them to shows or offering them to other collectors or investors. We do that for you too. So we've got a couple different ways, either an outright sale or a consignment. The consignment has been really, really popular. I bet 90% of my clients take the consignment route because you're giving me a little bit of time to shop the coins. And with coins, that's what it's going to take. So if you're sitting on 200 MS65 St. Gaudens, and you think you're going to call somebody when gold goes to $5,000 and say, I want to sell these and get an offer, you're not. It takes time to sell those coins. The fifth thing you need to do is decide where to put your money within the metals market. So you have money, either have money already invested or you want to put new money in the market. We'll try and help you decide where to put it. Like I said, I love strategic metals right now. That was really, really popular back in the late 70s. And then after gold crash, strategic metals were the hot word. The problem is you couldn't buy most of them. You had I don't know how they even did it. You had to buy shares of something that was stored in a vault somewhere, and it was just a big scam. But, a lot of these metals, platinum, palladium, they're readily available in coin and bullion bar form. Even rhodium, we talked about that before. I mean, it's not for everybody, but even that's available in a bar form today. As little as 5 years ago, if you bought rhodium, you had to buy a vial of powder. And the minute you took delivery, you lost $400. So some of these things, their time has come. And the way the world's going, I think these strategic metals, I really think they have the potential to be the big movers in the next market. It's not, it's almost never what you think it's going to be. You think gold's going to $5,000. Guess what? Rhodium goes to $15,000 instead. So I think it's worth looking at some different things, but it all depends on what you're looking for as to where you would put your money. I mean, somebody that has $10,000 and it's, $10,000 is a lot of money, so don't get me wrong, but $10,000 and it's a lot of money to them, they've got to be a lot more cautious about what they do if they even want to invest in these markets. Somebody has got $1 million invested and wants to play with $50,000 worth of rhodium or $100,000 worth of rare coins, it's a whole different story. So, we try and point out your risk involved in putting money into the markets. And again, if we don't think it's right for you, we'll tell you it's not right for you, but you make up your own mind. A lot of people, as I mentioned earlier, they bought coins from what I consider the wrong dealers, where they just simply bought the wrong kind of coins. A lot of those people, they're convinced there's money to be made in these markets. And they want a chance to make up their losses. I can show you some really good strategies. Again, depending who you are, what you own, some of these barber coins. I'd love to put a set of barber dimes together and a set of barber quarters and a set of barber halves. I'll tell you, I wouldn't try to put more than one or two sets together, though, because I think it's darn near impossible. But I'd love to do that for somebody. And maybe they have a chance to make up some losses. I think there's a lot of possibilities to make up losses in some of the half-ounce gold eagles. We just sold a bunch of 1986s in November. We're going for nearly $1,000 wholesale. You can get them today for about $750 if you can even find them. I mean, it's not going to take a lot for that market to bounce back, and then you have nearly a 50% profit just by buying the right coin. And if you're wrong, you own gold at $1,300 an ounce. You can't go that far wrong there. Some want to hedge. They want to hedge, but even people that just want to buy the gold or silver and stick it under their bed, I find those people aren't really adverse to taking profits once in a while. I've used this example before. It's just because it's a local lady and it sticks in my mind. I have hundreds of other examples, but when we were telling people to buy the half-ounce gold eagles, the older dates, which we've been doing for years and years, this woman, a local woman here in Phoenix, she bought 30 ounces of 15 ounces of gold, which was 30 half-ounce coins. And she wasn't buying to speculate. She wasn't buying to get into the collector market. She just wanted some gold to stick away and forget about. And she was lucky. When I bought her coins, I delivered coins that were dated 1995, which obviously, at the time I sold them to her, were no different than any other coin, no different than a 2013 or 2012, just a common gold coin. Well, last January, when these dated coins got hot, we sent out the letter I mentioned earlier. She called up and she said, well, I've got 30 coins. They're all dated 1995. Well, we were able to trade her half-ounce coins for 1 ounce. So she brought in 15 ounces of gold and walked out with 30 ounces of gold. I don't care if you're buying for a hedge. That's still a good deal. So, we still watch out for that, even though your main goal might not be that you're in it to try and make profits. I don't know anybody that's going to turn down 15 ounces of free gold. So that's something else that we do for you that, again, I think very, very few people will do. Once you're positioned correctly for your situation, we try and give you information, usually via emails, although once in a while through written, hard copy newsletters and phone calls. But we really try and use email. The reason, of course, is if something really dramatic is going on in the market, I can send you 10 emails, and it really doesn't cost me that much, but I can't send you 10 pieces of hard copy because I'll end up, to do that for all my clients, I'll end up spending $200,000, and I can't do that. But we try and give you the information so that as we go along in the market, you're kept updated on what you own and whether things are changing with it, whether there's opportunities to buy or opportunities to sell and maybe make some money, or even if we made a bad call and we see that something's going to go sour on us, we're going to let you know that so you can get out. Once you're our client, the last thing is, once you're our client, we're going to tell you when to buy and sell. Now, I'm sorry, you can take my recommendations and go try and do it all yourself. I'm not going to send you the information to tell you when to sell. I take care of my clients. That's part of what they're paying me for. I guarantee you're going to have a tough time finding any other dealer that's going to take care of you and tell you when to sell. That's something I don't give that information out for a couple reasons. My clients pay me for it. Secondly, if I tell 100,000 people to go sell a coin, they might get rid of their coins before I can take care of my clients and my obligations to my clients. So my clients get the inside scoop. Once they're taken care of, I might share the information. But once you're my client, you get that personalized. Information. So I guarantee that we'll take care of you. Just give us a call.
You've been listening to Good as Gold with Nick Kovich, owner and